Hi gang, Rob here. It is the evening of 25 January 2024, Thursday night, 9 o'clock. Must be time for a knife sale on the Apostle P channel, and a knife sale we shall have. Before we get to the meat of it, and it is a lot of meat tonight, let's do a little bit of housekeeping as usual. First up, I need you to be familiar with and agreeable to the terms of the sale. I'm going to post them on the screen for you in just a moment. I will also print them in the description underneath this video so you can peruse them at your leisure. Also in the description underneath the video, you're going to see at the very top 3 links to previous videos on the channel. The first is entitled A Primer for Buyers. It is especially pertinent to you if you're new to this weekly sales event. It'll explain how we do things and why every week. So it'll make your purchase experience go much more smoothly if you are familiar what is contained in it. The second link pertains to you if you're interested in using this weekly knife and watch and pen and light sale to move along some of your collection. It's called FAQs for Consignors. So that video will explain how this all works from the consignor's perspective. And then the third link, as always, is to my rates and services video for the TheApostleP Knife Service, the original precision sharpening service for the online knife community. So in that all-important video description, you will see those 3 links at the top, then the terms of the sale, and at the bottom will be the list of tonight's inventory, complete with timestamps on the left, pricing on the right. If you see the word sold in lieu of pricing, that means that knife you're looking at has been bought and paid for by its new owner. So no need to send an inquiry or an I'll take it on anything marked sold, all caps, exclamation point. If you see prices, you'll generally see 2 of them. The one on the left is the price of your item as shown in the video. The price on the right, the price after sharpening by the TheApostleP Knife Service. And there will be this week room for 4 knives to be sharpened next day. So the first 4 knives purchased to be sharpened will be done and shipped tomorrow, the 26th. If you fall outside of that, expect your knife to ship in 3 weeks or less. I think that's it for the housekeeping. Let's get the terms up on the screen for you, and we'll be right back with the sale. Here are the terms. All right, let's get to it, shall we? First up, we just have a few leftovers from last week. We're going to start with a watch. Oh, and I don't think I was able to really show this adequately last week. This is the Swiss Legend automatic chronograph, the Militaire 1, I believe is the model. I think I showed the outer box last week, and it's still here, and it's got all its paperwork. The hang tag is present. The cord for this, which is the inner box and winder, are also present. So you have a pillow, which goes in that cup, and it is a winder for your automatic watch in a nice lacquered wood case. Let's take a look at this beast, shall we? Pop it off the pillow. So here it is. The Swiss Legend, and it appears to have have died on me. Let's see. I guess I haven't wound it for a few days. There it goes, ticking along. So anyway, this has the Valjoux 7750 automatic chronograph movement. It is by Swiss Legend. Wipe my fingerprints off the glass. 53 millimeters diameter, 63 lug to lug, 16 thick with a 26 millimeter lug width. It has the day at 9, the date at 4, blue loom, PVD coated case, factory rubber strap, sapphire crystal, but it does have some chips in it. Let's see if we can get the camera to pick those up. Movement is viewable partially. So we'll call it excellent in box with winder. These are out of stock and discontinued. The last price I could see for them retail was at Joma's shop. They were $17.50. We ran this one last week at $4.95 on Thursday, dropped it to $4.40 for the weekend. It's still here. This week's price, $3.95. Now, guys, this is not the best place to sell watches, this knife sale. I bet you if you bought it for $3.95, you could probably put it on eBay and flip it, if nothing else. So there's that. And that is shipped priority mail, no need to sharpen. The Swiss Legend automatic chronograph. Next up, another leftover from last week. From Fox Knives, we have an outer sleeve, an inner box, and this all houses a model called the Radius. Pretty slick knife, very innovative. So what we have here is a handle fashioned of copper infused carbon fiber, beautifully milled. Hardware that is kind of a purpley copper anodized titanium. DLC coated titanium backspacer. It has a plunge lock mechanism, so you press in on the button, swing it around the radius, and it locks up like a button lock. And so to close. I imagine you could get pretty good at that if you practiced. I, however, am not that good at it. M390 blade, DLC coated, 2 13/16 inches in length, 4 7/16 inches of handle. The clip is going to be right hand tip up only in milled titanium. Let's see. Appears to be unused. We'll call it near mint to like new in box. Let's see. Lockup is dead rock solid. The action is ball bearing smooth. The centering is perfect. So yeah, these are available new at your favorite retail for $583. I can't remember what we ran those for last week because I forgot to note it, but it was a lot more than this week's price. This week you're getting it for $295, guys. That's like almost half price, and there's really not a mark on it. $325 if you like it with my edge on it. That's the Fox Radius in copper carbon fiber. Next up, a sweet little knife from Bark River. You know it's a little knife because it comes in a little box. This is the Harpoon Necker in 20 CV with a natural canvas set of scales. It comes in one of the most ingenious sheaths Bark River has ever used. If you notice the little bump right here, there is a square rare earth magnet in this neck sheath. So you can run cordage, you could run a beaded chain, you can hang it upside down. That knife is not coming out of there unless you pull it. It is a first production run blade in CPM 20 CV. 3 1/16 inches of blade to the beginning of the scale, and then 3 inches from the beginning of the scale to the end of the knife. Looks like, I don't know, doesn't look like 5/32 stock, but it could be. I'm thinking it's closer to 140 thousandths, but anywho. Works really well in the hand. The pinky kind of wraps, really anchors it. And then you have the sheath, which really anchors it. We'll call this near mint in box just because the sheath looks like it might have been carried a little bit. But looks like it might have been carried in a pocket, which would be perfectly cool for this knife. There are some available new in black canvas. Those are $187 web retail. Couldn't find any natural. I think we ran it at $150 last week and dropped it to $130 for the weekend. This week it can be yours for $110, shipped priority mail $135 with an ApostleP edge. Next day sharpening is available if it's one of the first 4. That's the Bark River Harpoon Necker. Oh, next up, got one from Boost Blades. It comes in a nondescript nylon pouch. Here is your card. It says it is a Smoke TS1 in S35VN with a titanium handle manufactured during the holiday season of 2017. Here is the Smoke. Rather beautiful milling execution on this knife, and then tumbled and anodized in a beautiful green. It is a ball bearing front flipper and a titanium frame lock. There's your lock engagement pretty early. Not as early as it looks though, because the blade tang has a pretty deep chamfer, so it engages farther than it appears on the top there, if that makes any sense. It is rock solid. The blade is 3 7/16 inches S35. The handle is 4 9/16. Milled titanium pocket clip that'll be right hand tip up only. And let's see. This has been sharpened. And you know what? I don't know why I really even included a sharpened price, because this edge is pretty squared away. I'll do it if you want, but it doesn't need it. So these are long out of stock. When they were available, they were $199 web retail. I think we ran this one last week at $150, dropped it to $130 for the weekend. It's still here. Let's do $110 shipped priority mail and $135 if you want me to sharpen it, but it doesn't need it. That's going to be the least expensive Smoke we've ever sold. Next day sharpening is available, but you don't want it. Next up, I remember when these knives were a thing, and they were a big thing. From Jake Hoback, we have the OSF, which I think stood for Open Source Folder. So that meant that if you requested from Jake, he would send you the drawings for this knife, and you could have it made or make it yourself, however you wanted. Notice Psalm 23 referenced next to the Hoback maker's mark on the DLC coated and then tumbled handle. I think there's a little copper anno under the DLC, which is cool. So it is a titanium frame lock knife with an S35VN blade, 3 5/8 inches of sheep's foot goodness, wearing an owner applied, I think, polished edge. I don't think I sharpened this one, but as I look at it, I could have. It definitely won't need to be sharpened. So 3 5/8 blade, 5 3/16 handle, really presents the blade well in kind of a downward cant. Let me get this stuff off my background here. There we go. Super cool package. The clip has the Hoback cross, and it's going to be ambidextrous tip up. I'm sure in titanium. A little bit of wear on the clip, but nothing major. We will call this near mint in box. These are discontinued, not a stock. Oh, it does feature the Hoback rolling detent, by the way, which is a pretty cool device. Adjustable. It rolls. So long out of stock new. Sold listings on eBay ranging between $450 and $525 for the OSF. This one with a screaming edge, $350, no need to sharpen. That's the Jake Hoback OSF Murdered. Next up, I always like to hear that jingle because it means we got a Ferrum forge knife in the house, and we do. And this one, not a Pro Series, not a drop. This is a real Ferrum Forged Knife Works Archbishop from 2016. I think it's kind of the OG from Elliott. In gorgeous OD green anno. Yeah. It is a titanium frame lock knife with a steel inserted lock face, which also doubles as an over travel stop. And as with most of the custom Ferrum Forged knives, it's running the Hoback rolling detent. It's got a titanium spring clip that's anodized in sort of a, I don't know, almost a coppery kind of thing. Looks great with the OD, and it looks great with the acid stonewash blade. So as we open it, ooh, that's got a nice flip. The ball bearing flipper, of course. Wearing another polished edge by this same consignor. He does a great job. Or I don't know, I might have done it. I could have done it. It's that good. So we've got 20 CV blade, 3.5 inches in length, 4.5 inches of handle. And if you've never held one of these, you need to, because they're really, really good. There's your lock engagement. And there's your centering, dead down the middle. Condition will be very near mint. There's a little tiny nick right on that corner. Makes it look like somebody actually used it. We'll call it near mint in pouch. These are unobtainium, long sold out, none available or recently sold on eBay. I think this is a buy at $300. I'm quite sure it's a buy at $300. That's the Ferrum Forge Archbishop OG from 2016. Next up, we have one from Buck. And the model inside is the Buck 110 Slim Pro Hunter, Buck 110 Hunter Slim Pro. Wearing a scale set of gorgeous natural canvas micarta. I don't know, they might call it OD, but I'm pretty sure it's natural. So you guys know the dimensions on this knife. They've been around for, they've been around for, what, 60 years? 3 5/8 blade, 4 7/8 handle. This one very thin. I'm going to say 3/8 of an inch. You've got a pocket clip. Ambidextrous tip up deep carry. Now, this one has been sharpened, and it got a little messy. There's some scratches. The edge isn't very good. Lockup is rock solid. I'm going to call the action a little gritty. You could probably oil that and work it out. The centering isn't very good. Let's see if I can. Favors the right. Consequently, you're going to get a great deal on this knife. If you just want a great user, they're discontinued and out of stock now. When they were available, they were $98. And I think we sold a 112 last week for after a price drop for the same as we're going to sell this 110 with a nicer scale set, guys. They were $98 when they were available, web retail. This one $55, shipped priority mail, $80 with an ApostleP edge. The Buck 110 Slim Pro Hunter in natural canvas and S30V. Next up, ooh, I don't know why I didn't make this the Rob's pick. I should have probably. From the Benchmade Knife Company, we have a 710-1401 Axis. Oh my, yes. This is the black and blue, or the blue and black G10 model. Bright hardware, polished split arrow clip, and a gorgeous blade, an M390. This one is for sure wearing an ApostleP edge. Oh yeah, oh, and it hasn't been used since I sharpened it. Lockup is dead, rock solid. Not quite a free dropper. This knife sits in a safe, obviously. So let's see, 3 7/8 blade, 4 15/16 handle, axis lock, phosphor bronze and studs. I'll call the action and lockup very close to perfect, and the centering is very, very close. So near mint in box, discontinued and out of stock for a long time. Sold listings on eBay between $280 and $450. Your price on this one, $225, guys. $225 and no need to sharpen. The Benchmade 710-1401 black and blue M390 with an ApostleP edge. Next up, we have, well, I don't know. I don't know if this is a real beast or if it's built like a tank. I do know this. It is the ZT0770CF. You guys all know this knife. Carbon fiber scales. Kind of a minimalist. Deep carry, tip up, ambidextrous clip. Speed safe spring assist. Flipper on phosphor bronze. This is in LMAX. 3 3/16 blade, 4 5/16 handle. If you happen to be in Mike Stewart's office at Bark River and you look in his upper left desk drawer, you will see his favorite EDC folder, and it happens to be this exact model. Yeah. So you have a stainless steel liner lock locking up very robustly. Rock solid. Nice smooth action, but it doesn't really need to be that free because it has a spring. Centering on this one is dead. We'll call it near mint in box. Oh, by the way, it has an ApostleP edge. It's a screamer. So yes, let's see. If you bought one of these brand new, I think it might not come in LMAX anymore. I think they're probably S35. But it'll cost you $224. And then, of course, the owner of this knife would have paid $30 for me to sharpen it. So you'd have like $254. How about we do this one for $160, no need to sharpen. The ZT0770CF with an ApostleP edge. Next up, we have one from Cold Steel. It is a murdered American Lawman. I guess it's not new anymore, but it's got the more standard textured and thinner G10. Makes it much more carryable. So you guys all know this knife if you've been around a little bit. S35 VM blade. 3 5/16 inches in length. Kind of a longish handle at 4 3/4, but there's a reason for all of it. Because it offers so many grip options. The clips are ambidextrous, tip up. The lefty clip is in the box. The triad lock locks up like a triad lock. It runs on thumb studs, phosphor bronze, and Teflon. Action is great. Lockup is perfect. Centering, I'm going to say, favors the left ever so slightly. It has been used and sharpened, and the edge, although it isn't dull, it's pretty sharp, but I think I see a burr, and it's not quite as I would do it. So I am going to give you a sharpened price. We'll call it near mint in box. Price of these brand new, and you can actually buy this knife brand new. $125 is the web retail. We're going to do this one at $85. And then if you'd like my edge, $110. Next day sharpening is available if it's one of the first 4. That's the Cold Steel American Lawman murdered. Next up, we have one from Northwoods Knives, and that does not look like a Ziploc bag with a traditional slip joint in it because it's not. This is a fixed blade. It is the Iron River in Curly Koa Burl. Produced by Bark River, designed by Derek Bone, and I think this was his last knife design. So it comes in a sheath that's sort of a convertible affair. You can go scout carry, you can go vertical. And inside is a right pretty little knife. We have a blade of A2, and it is 3 inches in length, just kind of a drop point with a saber convex edge. The handle has a little carbon fiber bolster, and it's really nice in the hand. It's a pinky wrapper. The horn will fall between your ring finger and your pinky finger in most grips. So let's see. Oh, this has been sharpened, and I didn't do it, and it does not have a convex edge on it. So let's see. We're going to call it near mint in box. They're long discontinued and out of stock. I found one sold listing on eBay, and it brought $242, and it had stag handles and not very good looking ones. This is a much nicer handle. However, you can have this one for $185 like it is. $210 with an ApostleP edge. Next day sharpening is edge. Next day sharpening is available. Next up, we have oh, I think one of the coolest bark rivers ever. There's your box, and there is your end label. This is a Bark River Cub in 3V with curly koa scales. Comes in a sheath designed by Skinbender Leatherworks, but produced by Bark River for this knife. Looks like it's hardly been carried at all. Oh, look at this beauty. A gorgeous swedged clip point with a tapered fuller in 3V. 5 5/16 inches of blade. There's your curly koa, and notice this one has the center mosaic pin. The handle length is 4 7/8, and it's so good in the hand. I mean, so good. So good. That mosaic is really something. Yeah. We're going to call this one near mint to like new in box. It looks like it's just kind of waxy from sitting around. Well protected. What a beauty. This one's actually easy to snap. Next up, oh, we don't get, I never told you the price, did I? Sorry about that. So these are out of stock. On eBay sold listings, they're doing between $317 and $400. This one is a real buy at $250 like it is. $285 with an ApostleP edge. Next day sharpening available. Now next up, from Humphrey Custom Knives, we have a bird and trout in 440C, forged 440C, dark curly maple scales with blue liners. Check this thing out, guys. First of all, it comes in the two-tone sheath. I love this sheath that Lon does. Gonna be vertical carry only, and look at this little thing of beauty, will ya? Yeah, Brut to forge style, forged 440C. Kind of a muskrat clip, bird and trout. 3 9/16 inches of blade, 4 1/4 inches of handle, and look at those blue liners. Yeah. The curly maple is gorgeous. It's near mint to like new in box. Out of stock currently. If this knife were available, it would have been $250 web retail. It can be yours. $180 shipped priority mail. $205 if you like it with an ApostleP edge. That's the Humphrey bird and trout. Next up, it's folder time, and we're going to start it off with a Benchmade. This model was reviewed in 2023 on my USA Made Knife Review series. It's the 430BK Redoubt from Benchmade. A very interesting knife, I think. It is not extravagant, except for the steel, I think. So it's got a grivery handle, and it's a 3-piece handle, I guess. So each of the dark gray panels are separate, and then it's got this back strap in green with a small frag pattern. It's really, 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 really nice in the hand. Really nice in the hand. Axis lock mechanism. A bespoke deep carry tip-up clip, ambidextrous. The blade is coated, and I can't remember the material, but it looks like a charcoal Cerakote. I believe that's what it is. Kind of speckly. It's gorgeous. The blade is CPM D2, which, if you don't know CPM D2, it's got a story. A crucible product. I think it was released in the early 2000s. A particle metallurgy form of D2. It was awesome. But D2 fell out of fashion. So did CPM D2, because it said D2. Carpenter was smart. They ran the same chemistry. They called it CTS XHP. Everybody loved it. So here goes Crucible and Benchmade releasing a CPM D2 knife. It's the Redoubt, and it's really kind of a nice knife in the hand, and it's going to perform like crazy. 3.5-inch blade, 4 3/4 handle, rock solid axis lock, kind of a smoky, clear finish on the thumb studs. Interesting touch, don't you think? Action is beautiful. Not quite free dropping, but close enough that you can fling it shut. Rock solid lockup. Centering on this one is dead. It has been used and touched up. We're going to call that near mint in box. Price of these brand new web retail or map pricing is $180. This one can be yours at $130 like it is, $155 with a fresh ApostleP edge. I would suggest it, because you're going to love that steel when it's sharp. That is the Benchmade 430 BK Redoubt. Next up is the Save Me From Myself moment tonight. Shocking, it's a Spyderco. It is the Endela. It says blue K390. I call it teal. I think it's more teal than, maybe teal is a blue, I don't know. But there is your Volcano Grip FRN handle. Black clip, bright hardware. The K390 has started to take on that hazy patina that it likes to do. No worries with that. Blade length is 3 7/16, handle 4 11/16. It is a midlock with a buoy dent to keep from accidental release. Yeah. Anyhow, rock solid lockup. Action pretty nice and free. Centering is dead. We will call this near mint in box, hazy patina noted. You can buy these brand new for $138 at your favorite web retailer. This one, $105 like it is, $135 with an ApostleP edge next day sharpening is available. That's the Spyderco Endela Teal and K390. Next up, time for a buck. There we go. And I'm going to show you the ridiculously long model number. I think that is 0830 GRSBOTM-B. It is an 830 Marksman with an OD scale set, and it's all the metal is finished in desert tan. Look at that. Yeah. So the Grant and Gavin Hawk design with the SLS, strong locking system. It's basically a strap lock. OD green G10 handle scales, ambidextrous tip up deep carry clip that fastens at the butt of the knife. Lots of adjustment capability on this SLS. That little hole is where you put your Allen wrench to adjust the length of the strap so you can have it lock up how you want. It is a ball bearing flipper and one of the coolest flippers ever. Hard to see in there, but maybe I can as I swing it. The blade tang is everything. If you look, everything is controlled by the mill cuts in the blade tang, but how it locks up, how it flips, everything, and it locks up right there with that strap lock mechanism. I think you can, there you go. Pretty cool stuff. The blade, S45VN on this one, so it's a relatively recent, before they discontinued the model. 3.5 inches long, 4 11/16 handle. The lockup is going to be rock solid. You saw the action. Let's see if it centers up. It do. We will call this near mint in box. It appears to have been sharpened, but it hasn't been destroyed. Discontinued, out of stock, and I could find no eBay listings and no old pricing. Unobtainium knife. Let's do 150. 180 with my edge. That's the buck 830 Marksman OD and tan. Next up, another buck. This one also will have a ridiculously long model number. It's the 0040 GRS-B Onset Pro. Scaled in OD green G10 with that soft-ish texture. This is a stainless steel frame lock, so you see no insert. You do have a sort of lock bar stabilizer thingaroo there. Right hand tip up pillared pocket clip with kind of a parkerized finish in the buck anvil. It's a ball bearing flipper in S45VN. 3 5/16 blade, black Cerakote. Cool buck drop point. Lockup is dead rock solid. Action is ball bearing. Excuse me. Centering is pretty much dead center. Let's see. This has been sharpened. I could do better. I will give you a sharpened price. We'll call this near mint in box. These are 150 brand new at Knife Center right now. This one, 115 like it is, 140 with my edge. That's the Buck Onset Pro. Next up, from Great Eastern Cutlery's Northfield Unexcelled line, we have a 23 Pioneer Trapper, model 235120L, which means it's a liner lock in antique autumn natural bone. Guys, you got to see this. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Look at that. That bone is stunning. And there's your match. How about that? So 4.5 inches of closed length. Pull is about an 8. Single drop point. Nail nick and a cut swedge. The liner lock mechanism rests on top of the tang. Got a little stick, but it's okay. Walk and talk are awesome. Centering is off to the left. Now, although that's probably caused by lock bar pressure, I'm sure it is, because there is no side play. Might just be the nature of the beast. Oh, let's see. Near mint to like new in tube, out of stock and unobtainium. I could find 0 sold listings or current listings on eBay. There was one sold listing for this exact knife that had the bullet shield that was like a 1 of 25. It was like $400, $500. This one can be yours. 200 like it is, 225 with my edge. The GEC Northfield number 23 Pioneer Trapper. 3 Pioneer Trapper. Next up, got one from a company I think I might have seen just once or twice. It's Expat Knives, and associated with Randall Adventure Training. So this is going to look like a knife you've seen before. It kind of looks like a recooked Avispa, I believe. So coarse black G10 on the show side, and then probably a DLC or PVD coated stainless steel frame side. Deep carry clip that's going to be right hand only. Very strong lock bar tension on this knife. Black coated blade in AUS 8, made in Taiwan. First production run knife, and this is the Expat. I forgot to turn my page. Be a good idea if I did that, don't you think? So I can actually read you what the knife is. It's the Expat Medellin. Look, it says so right on the blade. 3.5-inch blade, 4 13/16 inch handle. Phosphor bronze washers and thumb studs, just like God intended it. So let's see. Action, very nice. Like Rat 1 nice. You can muscle a little side play as it's kerning adjusted, but it locks up just fine. Blade centering is dead. We will call this near mint in box. They are currently $47 at KnifeWorks, which is the only place I could find them in my cursory search. This one can be yours all in. You're not paying any postage. You're not paying any sales tax. $35 to your door. Priority mail. $60 with my edge. Next day sharpening is available. That's the Expat Knives Medellin. Next up, it's Civivi time. We have a C22030E-1 Qubit. This is a good looking aluminum handle. It kind of looks blasted and then hard anodized. Tip up ambidextrous deep carry clip. Button lock mechanism, thumb studs and bearings. What a good looking blade. 14C28N steel, tumbled DLC finish. 3 inches in length and 4 3/16 inches on the handle. Lockup is dead rock solid. Ball bearing action is awesome. Centering, hard to see, but it's all that black. Centering is dead perfect. We will call this like new in box. These are available currently for purchase brand new. $67 at your favorite online retailer. This one can be yours, $50 all in, shipped priority mail. $75 if you'd like it with my edge. That's the Qubit from Civivi. Next up, we have one from Off Grid Knives. It is the Stinger, and it's a pretty cool little blade, I got to say. Nice little EDC size knife. Coyote tan G10 scales. Fill tab. Tip up deep carry clip that's obviously ambidextrous. It's a stainless steel liner lock. Ball bearing flipper. Kind of a droppy spear blade, reminiscent of a Rat 1. 154 cm is your blade steel. In a gray DLC, they are saying. And it is wearing a polished edge. Not quite as good as I would do, but you don't need to sharpen it. 2 15/16 blade. 4 1/16 handle. Really, really nice in the hand. There's your lockup on the liner lock. Rock solid. Flipping action is awesome. Centering is dead perfect. These are currently available for web retail of $110. This one can be yours, $75. No need to sharpen. The Off Grid Stinger. Next up, we have a Kizer. And you'll never be able to read that. But if you could, it would say, it's the V4458.2 BC2 Begleiter 2.0. Yes, sirree, Bob. Wearing what appears to be black linen micarta scales. Ambidextrous tip-up deep carry pocket clip, button lock mechanism, ball bearings and thumb studs. The blade is kind of a clip point affair. 3 3/8 inches of 154 cm. The handle 4 7/16. It's slim. It's long-ish. Going to carry very well in the pocket. Lockup is rock solid. The action is perfectly stupendous. The centering is dead. Like new in the box. You can buy one of these brand new at your favorite knife store for 84 bucks. Or just buy this one, all in. 60 bucks, no sales tax, postage paid. 85 with my edge on it. Next day sharpening is available. It's one of the first 4. That's the Begleiter 2.0 from Kizer. Next up, we are going to digress into the world of pens and flashlights for a bit. First, we have an Olight O pen, and it's kind of cool. Inside, you're going to see a plastic box with a cord. See if I can remember how this works. So, black hard anodized aluminum barrel. Overall length is 6 inches. It's a bolt action pen. And then, let's see. It's got a little light in the pocket clip. And then I think in the off position, there's some way to change the intensity of that LED. And then there's also a way, I can't remember how to do it, but in the end is a green pointer. Doggone it, I wish I could remember how to turn that on, but it works pretty good. You know, it's a little laser pointer. It does work. It is USB rechargeable. It's like new in box. You can buy these brand new for 69 bucks. This one, $35 shipped priority mail. No need to sharpen. The O Pen Pro from Olight. Next, we have one from CountyCom. And it says Embassy Pen Revision 6, because that's what it is. I think the 7s are out now. They have a different texture. This is the titanium version. 5 3/8 overall length. It is a screw top pen. And I don't see that that goes on the back, so you're going to, you have to deal with that. The refill is a Schmidt medium blue. Very cool dimpled texture. Good looking titanium pen. The clip also titanium, by the way. So these are out of stock. They were 70 bucks at CountyCom when they were available. Can't buy a new one. But you can have this one, like new in tube condition, 50 bucks shipped priority mail. The CountyCom Embassy Pen Revision 6 in titanium. Next up, from Rovivon, we've got a box that it's hard to open. You got to get your fingernail under there. Come on, come on. I know you can do it. Jeez, there. I don't know, there's a couple little split rings in there. I don't know what all. Interesting little light. It's a keychain light with a pocket clip. You would attach your split ring there. You can see what's going on inside. Got 2 LED emitters. Looks like 3 brightness settings. I don't know. Never seen one before. I know you can buy this one for $20 shipped priority mail. It's 2 13/16 long, by the way. It's kind of cool. Like new in the box, 20 bucks. Next up, We have one from Lumen Top. It's the F21 Pro. It seems like we've sold one of these before. This was manufactured March 29th of 21. I don't know what all this means. XHP 50.2, GS something, no extended warranty purchased. I don't know. It's a pretty cool little light, kind of a stubby but stocky one. 4 1/8 overall length. Steel blue, hard anodized aluminum barrel. 3 LED emitters. It takes a 21700 rechargeable lithium ion cell. I think it takes the other similar battery as well, but that's what's installed now. 1800 lumens on high. We'll call it excellent in box. There's a couple. Maybe those aren't scuffs. I think that's how it was actually finished from the factory. And the same on the button, maybe. I don't know. Whoa! Whoa, that thing's bright, dudes. It's bright. Anyway, your price, $45, shipped priority mail. No need to sharpen. The Lumen Top F21 Pro Light. Next up, we have another light from Wuben. Okay. Interesting package here. Let's see if I can get this right. So you got a box of instructions. You got a lanyard in here that is also the charging cable. I'm not quite sure how that works. And then you get this red diffuser. And the light's very interesting. It kind of looks like a taser. 3 LED emitters, 3 5/16 inches in overall length, black hard anodized aluminum. And then your switch is this blue one, this blue piece, which is on a hinge. And then you flip it up to expose the charging port. It's the Wuben X2 light, waterproof construction, 2500 lumens on high, programmable with the USB charging cable and lanyard, like new in the box. These are $88 brand new. This one can be yours, $65 like it is. No need to sharpen. The Wuben X2 light in black. All right, time to get back to the knives for a while. This one's pretty cool. It sure is. It's from Ratworks, made in the USA. It's the Mini MRX or MRX Mini Automatic in brass. And it also has an ApostleP edge. Look at that little beauty. So it's a button lock automatic lanyard with a brass bead. Tip up right hand clip. Probably titanium, but I didn't check it. I don't know. Could be stainless. It's got that chain drive mechanism. I love the sound it makes when you close it. Kind of a little spear point blade. Low hollow, wearing an ApostleP edge. Blade length is 3 inches of CPM 154. The handle 3 15/16. Just melts into the hand. Beautiful centering. Action is kind of slow but dependable. Rock solid lockup. We'll call it near mint in box. Just a little bit of patina shown on the brass. These are out of stock. When they were available, they were $375 web new. This one, $240 with an ApostleP edge. Shipped priority mail. That's a pretty good buy. The Ratworks MRX Mini Automatic brass with an ApostleP edge. Okay, next up. Interesting package we got for you here. First, it comes with a book, The Fallen, story by Paul Munko, mods by Northern Knives. Interesting. So what's the knife? Well, it's a Spyderco Paramilitary 2, serialized number 155. There is the lanyard tube. It's running a plug, and the original Spyderco clip is in there. And then there's a little fly protected by a gal with a knife sticker. And then there's a Flytanium sticker in there too, because the scales are Flytanium titanium. So here's the show side, and it's a Fallen Warrior motif by Paul Munko. Nice bronze anodized titanium deep carry clip. Sweet action on this too. Etched with the serial number 155, S45 VN blade. Great action, nice and free. Centering's perfect. Lock up pretty good. There he goes. Looks like a titanium stop pin. Interesting. Absolutely like new, in box with book and all those goodies. Let's see. These are out of stock. When they were available, they were $315. This one can be yours like new in box for $270 like it is, $300 if you like my edge on the S45 blade. That's the Spyderco Northern Knives Pair 2, The Fallen, number 155. Next up, we have one from Microtech, and guys, be specific in your I'll take it, because we have two of these knives. The other one will come later. It is the Microtech 123-12BH Ultratech Tanto Edge Full Serrated, otherwise known as the Boba Fett Ultratech. There you go. You got 5 1/16 to the tip of the carbide glass breaker and the handle length. The blade, 3 3/8 inches of serrated tanto with the apocalyptic finish. And the handle gets dragged behind a pickup in gravel for at least half a mile. I'm kidding. That's how they make them. Double action, OTF, automatic. Made March of 2017, serial number 01626. It's like new in the box. Out of stock at $378 web retail, and the steel is premium stainless steel. Your price, $250 like it is. I wrote $270 sharpened. That's for just the front, because the serrations need no work. So you get that little 1/8 of an inch of plain edge in the front of the tanto, but you probably don't want me to sharpen it. So $250 like it is, $270 sharpened. Make sure you reference serrated in your I'll take it. Next up, you get no box with this one, and it's got a little wear, but what a cutie. This is a Microtech 231-1 PK UTX 85 single edge in pink hard anodized aluminum handle. A little wear on the clip. Made January of 2017, serial number 04553. The blade is M390 two-tone. 3 1/8 handle, 3 1/8 blade, 4 7/16 handle. Other than the clip wear and a little wear under the clip, the rest of the knife, I don't think it's ever cut anything. So we'll call it excellent. No box. When these were available and they are out of stock, they were $277 web retail. How about $125 like it is? $155 with my edge. That is the pink UTX 85 from Microtech. Next up, we've reached the point in the sale. It's time for the Rob's Pick. And this is a cool knife, guys. From who? How about Kershaw? Yep, this is the Livewire double action OTF. A very good looking black hard anodized aluminum handle. Got some milling and it's got a blasted finish under the ano. It is gorgeous. The clip is deep carry, ambidextrous. Button effort, medium. This is one you can drive your wife crazy with for 2 hours watching a movie on the couch. The blade, CPM 20 CV. The newer ones are in Magna Cut, so you're going to get a deal. 3 1/4 inch blade, 4 3/16 handle. Near mint to like new, no box. The Magna Cut ones have a MAP price web retail of $225. I don't know what these sold for, probably 200-ish. Like new, near mint to like new, no box. Your price $125, like it is, $155 with my edge. The Kershaw 9000 Livewire OTF. Next up, Kizer time, and that box tells you that this is an older Kizer, and it is. It's the KI 4478 Velox 2, designed by Mike Vagnino. A beautifully crowned, blasted titanium frame, blue anodized hardware, blue anodized titanium pocket clip. It's a titanium frame lock with steel insert, ball bearing flipper. Interesting flipper. Definitely a push. Got a spear point blade with a tiny bit of recurve in S35 VN. 3 3/8 inches of blade, 4 3/8 handle. There is your lock engagement, rock solid. Centering is dead perfect. A couple very slight trails. So we'll call it near mint in box. These are discontinued, not a stock. I did find an old price page from Blade HQ. It looks like they ran a clearance on these at the very end for 120 bucks. They were a lot more than that to start with, I believe. Your price on this one, $90, shipped, priority mail. $115 with an ApostleP edge. That's the Velox 2 from Kizer. Next up, we got another one from Microtech, and I warned you about this knife before. This is another Microtech 123-12BH Ultratech Tanto, but it's the plain edge one. So make sure you reference plain edge in your I'll take it. You got your Boba Fett Ultratech dragged behind a truck for a while. Now this seller did something interesting. He changed 3 of the screws to a black background to make it look even more Boba. The original screws are in the box, and how did he do that? Well, he had to buy the tool. So the tool is included. Medium firm button, plain edge Tanto. I have not had it fail on me, so it's been 100% as it's been in my hand. 3 3/8 blade, 5 1/16 handle, made November of 17. Serial number 02680. These are out of stock. The steel is premium, by the way. When they were available new, they had a $378 web retail. This one can be yours, $250 like it is. $280 if you would like my edge on it. That is the Ultratech Tanto Edge Plain Edge Boba Fett from Microtech. Next up, oh guys, there's only one reason this isn't the Rob's pick, because I haven't decided if I'm going to keep it yet. It's a Benchmade, and it is the now discontinued 943 BK Osborne. It's the muskrat clip version of the 940. Black handle. blue titanium backspacer. It's wearing a painted Benchmade clip. That will last about 5 minutes if I bought it. It is virtually unmarked. There might be a little snail trail here. Black coated blade in S30V. Oh, guys, 3 3/8 blade, 4 7/16 handle. Rock solid lockup. Not quite a free dropper, but plenty close enough. Centering is dead. Wow. Near mint, in box, discontinued, out of stock. Sold listings on eBay are ranging between $250 and $400. Your price, $200 like it is, $230 with my edge. That's the 943 BK Osborne from Benchmade. All right, next up we're going to finish with some watches. The first is from Orient. This is the Raven Ray 2. I do not have a reference number. Let me do a little quick crystal wipe here. This is kind of a basic model, an automatic movement. It does hack and hand wind. 41.5 millimeter case, 46.5 lug to lug, about 12.5 thick, 22 millimeter lug width, orange dial, day and date, 200 meters of water resist. Nice 120 click bezel. Very audible clicks. Let me get that back lined up. Doesn't quite line up, but it's close. Now this is wearing a Seiko rubber with the wave. The factory bracelet is here and appears to have not been on very long. Very little to no wear on that. It is a hollow end link bracelet. The links are solid, however. So let's see. 164 at Joma's shop. You want to buy a new one? I think they're in stock. Just buy this one. Near mint. 110 shipped priority mail with both the rubber and the metal bracelet, which you don't get for 164 at Joma's shop. Next up, another one from Orient, and it comes in an Orient box, but it's the wrong box. This box is for a Bambino, and this watch is not a Bambino. What this is the RA-EL003B Neptune. Definitely has a higher end automatic movement from Orient with the power reserve indicator. Let's see, it's running, I can't tell you. I think it's running about plus 10 a day. So embossed markers with filled loom, pointer hour, sword minute, pointer seconds hand, gilt dial and indices on the bracelet. It's got some very fine hairlines in it. Oyster style bracelet. Does it have the Seiko? It does, the Seiko dive watch extension. Signed crown. 42.5 diameter, 50 lug to lug, 13.5 thick, 22 millimeter lug width. 4 o'clock date. Another Seiko rubber in a bag if you don't like the bracelet. It was actually on the rubber when it came to me. I thought it needed to be on the bracelet for the video. Very cool watch. You can buy these new, and they are all over the place depending on the country of the website. They range between $1,000 and $3,000, and they are currently available new. There is a current listing on eBay for $675 without the extra strap. This one can be yours, $495. That is a handsome unit for $495. That's the Orient Neptune automatic dive watch. That brings us to the last item in tonight's sale. It's a G-Shock. And I can't tell you the model number off the box because somebody mucked up the sticker. But I did look it up. It is the GG1000-1A3 Mudmaster. 5476 quartz module. 53 millimeters by 62 millimeters by 16.5 thick with a 26.5 wide rubber strap. In a digi. I do not believe this one is solar. It is not solar. It is not Bluetooth or multiband 6. So it's kind of an entry-level Mudmaster. LED backlight. These are discontinued, not a stock. Sold listings on eBay ranging between $155 to $250, and the $155 one was a turd. This one very near mint, in box with papers, $175 shipped priority mail. That is the GG1000-1A3 Mudmaster from G-Shock. Next up, I lied, that was not the last item in the sale because we have 2 fixed blades. Oh, let's see. First, we got one from Bastinelli Creations. It is the Grozo Dark Stonewashed Dagger. Comes in a nicely made Kydex sheath with a tech lock. Oh, here you go. 5 7/8 inches of N690 DLC coated. Flat dark earth G10 scales removable. Serrations at the base. Kind of a modified coffin. Works very well in the hand. I'm going to call it like new in box, but just note that the Kydex has rubbed onto the handle just a little bit, but it's never been used or cut anything. These are discontinued, not a stock. When they were available, they had a web retail of $350. That's not an inflated manufacturer's retail. That's street price. This one can be yours $225 like it is. No need to sharpen. The Bastinelli Grozo Dagger. And now we have the last knife in the sale. This one is from Work Tough Gear, and I think all the goodies are in the box. Strap, molly, another strap. Do with it what you want. The knife, designed by Chris Tanner, Prepared Mind 101. Kydex sheath. Oh. It is the JXV. I don't know, maybe it's JX5. Kind of an interesting tumbled bead blast on the blade of SK85, which would be Japanese 1085. Blade length 9 1/16. The handle 7.5. You heard that right. Black G10 scales. I got little bits of Kydex everywhere. And you may notice it's wearing a glinty convex TheApostleP edge, because it is. These are out of stock. When they were available, they were $240 web retail. Then my consignor paid me $35 to do that edge. So he had $275 in it. And it's never cut anything. Your price, cut anything. Your price, $200. Shipped priority mail. No need to sharpen. That is the JXV or JX5 from Work Tough Gear. And that, my friends, brings us to the end of another weekly knife sale on the TheApostleP channel. I hope you enjoyed it. I sure did. Grace to you and peace, my friends, from God our Father and the Lord Jesus Christ. Remember, the word is sharp. I'll talk to you soon.